All right, hi everyone. I am here with Steph and Den, two other accounting YouTubers from Canada. I feel like we are like the only accounting YouTubers in Canada, so we're very small niche here, and so we've become friends and we decided we should do a collaboration video. And these guys, they both work at the Big Four, and they have offered to answer you guys' questions about what it's like to work at the Big Four. And just for if you guys are watching this like down the road, we are in the middle of the COVID crisis, so we are all working from home, and we're just going to talk about how we're keeping it real while working at home as well in the middle of everything. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah. Yes, like you mentioned, we both work at Big Four firms. I'm Steph, obviously, he's Den. But I work on the internal side. I'm actually in a human capital team, but at a Big Four firm. And yeah, I've been doing that for a little over a year now.
Yeah, so for me, we're basically CPAs, but we do consulting and advisory work. So our group sits under audit, but we advise CFOs on the finance and accounting function.
And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Brandy, and I run the accounting videos channel, and I've got a bunch of tutorials on my channel for accounting students going through it. So we've kind of got both sides. I'm on the accounting student side, and there once you're trying to get hired and all of that kind of stuff. So it's a good partnership we've got going here.
Yeah, it's a good mix.
And Den, I just wanted to say, like, I think students are really interested in what you do, because I think a lot of students kind of get intimidated when they hear that they need to go through, well, they don't need to go through the audit route, but I think a lot of them assume that you have to go through the audit route and you're kind of stuck with that for life. And to a lot of students, I think the consulting side sounds so much more interesting to them.
Yeah, I think my group's super unique, and I think that times have really changed. Like, you don't have, a lot of students don't know this, but you don't have to go through the, like you just said, the audit or the tax route in order to get your CPA. If you're interested in consulting type of work, if you're interested in strategy, you can do that from the get-go if you're in a group like mine where we actually offer advisory services, right? So, I mean, it's the path that I chose, right? So,
and I don't think they share that path as much with students, but you just kind of fell into it a little bit, which was nice.
Definitely. That's awesome. And Steph, did you come up through the audit route and then move into human capital?
No, so I did my Bachelor of Commerce in school, but in HR, and then I went straight,
awesome.
Yeah. So I worked in recruitment first for a little bit, and then now I work out of recruitment, but in human capital for one of the Big Four.
So I'm going to get into our student questions, because they actually did send me some questions. And if they have more questions, are they able to just kind of comment below on our videos, and maybe we can do a follow-up for them?
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll answer them all.
Sounds good. So we can do a follow-up if you guys have extra questions. So let's dive into the questions, and then we can, we'll chat a little bit more at the end. Okay. So the first question that they have is, having a great balance is always key, but they've heard horror stories. And so during work at the Big Four, during busy season, which it's busy season right now when we're filming this, what ways do people use to try to balance everything during busy season?
Totally.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting for our end, balance is a little bit different because we don't have one set busy season just with our particular roles. Like Den mentioned, and his side, it's kind of always busy. There's ebbs and flows though. Like there's times, it's very project based, right? So sometimes you're on projects that take a lot more time and he's constantly working, sometimes traveling for them. Yeah. And other times it's more relaxed. And right now working from home, it's obviously a little bit more relaxed in that sense too.
Yeah.
And for me, balance, it's pretty consistent. I work 9 to 5, a little bit of overtime here and there all the time. So balance wise, like for us, we always think of it, we're also doing YouTube and things like that on the side. And our channel, we spend a lot of time on that, and we upload twice a week. So we try and focus on work during the week, and the weekends is all YouTube. It's all of our extra stuff.
I want to say also, like, just trying to systemize your life. Obviously during the busy times, like, things can fall and slip through the cracks. So really scheduling your time and making sure that, you know, you're dedicating certain hours to yourself, right?
Yeah.
Or a certain amount of time to yourself.
Yeah, that's great advice. And I think also, I just wanted to add in, because I was really terrible at saying no to anything when I was working at the Big Four. And so I definitely put it on myself to just do everything. And so it can lead to burnout really fast if you're just not being honest with your managers and as well as yourself of like what you can actually accomplish in the day. And so I think that can lead to burnout when you're not kind of prioritizing yourself, right? So what made you choose your firm over other firms, and kind of why are you still at your firm? So why did you choose the firms you're at? Was it the values? Was it the benefits they were offering? Was it the people there? What appealed to you, and why did you continue to stay there?
I think for me, just having networked with all the different firms, one of the biggest distinction with my firm specifically is that we were really leading in a lot of different emerging spaces. So technology being one of them. I think, as the world changes and, as careers change, it's going to be really important for us to align ourselves even as CPAs, whether you're on the audit side, whether you're on the consulting side, no matter where you're at, it's really important for you to align yourself with technology. And I think my firm really gave that opportunity.
And yeah, the people you work with are so important, especially if you are coming up through the audit route. Like, you're working long hours, so it's pretty important that you like the people you're working with. And like, as the students, if you're going through the CPA process with your group, like, those are going to be friends for life. Like, for real, those are going to be friends for life because you spent so much time with them, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, let's get on to the next question. So for students who don't land a position with the Big Four, what would you recommend for the students who got turned down by any of the Big Four but still want to pursue the Big Four in the future? Is that a possibility for them?
And Den, for example, like, that happened to him. When he was a student, he didn't get any positions in co-op at any of the Big Four, but as soon as he graduated, got a role with them. So that's good proof that it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
I think it can be hard motivation-wise, though, right? To stick with it and feel good when you get turned down. So a few tips, especially coming again from like the HR, HC side of things. I think sticking with it is obviously important, and keeping going, keep networking, keep applying, but also really try and find out why you got turned down, right? Sometimes it's just a volume thing. Sometimes there's so many applicants, like there's always so many people who want to work in those roles. There's only so many. But try and learn from that so you can take something away and hopefully get the job next time. So whether it's getting feedback from the actual people you maybe interviewed with or applied with, or if you have some sort of external mentor, even someone like Brandy, you can walk her through what your process looked like, what you said in your interview, different things like that, and get some advice on maybe what you can do better next time. And also more coffee chats is something that I think is really helpful, or phone calls with people who are on the teams you want to be working with, because then it really gives you that background, inside knowledge of what you can bring up next time and really show that expertise. Also, in the meantime, if you get turned down, try and get some other good job. Even if it's not at the Big Four, get some other audit experience, other accounting experience that you can leverage that next time, and you just have more to bring to the table. All of those things, just completely bringing up your package. And we have a video coming, I think, next week about networking to get into, and I think that's something to really focus on, is the networking piece and keeping that going and not dropping your connections just because you didn't get in that time. Like, don't worry about it.
It's not a sprint. It's a marathon, right? Like.
Okay, so question number 4: if you work for the Big Four, for one of the Big Four firms, what opportunities do you have in regards to switching over to industry after working for the firm?
I think this is probably one of the best things about working for one of the Big Four firms. It's the perception outside, right? For my team specifically, it's also interesting because we're sort of built on the consulting model. So it's really easy for a lot of my coworkers to get into a lot of those strategy roles. But also, obviously, there's the accounting side of things and the finance side of things. So leaving and joining, different roles within the finance and accounting function at industry organization.
Actually, that's a really good point that I will say quickly, is that a lot of different recruiters that work at Big Fours, they come from working in audit. So that's something that you can do too if you're interested in getting into like a recruiting side, because it's a natural fix. You know what you're looking for.
Totally.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that I've worked with and come across on the HC side that come from audit and accounting. So that's another option if you're interested in that in the future.
Yeah. All right, next question. Okay, so Den, you've already kind of touched on this, but are there other Big Four opportunities for students who don't want to join audit or tax? So maybe you can kind of highlight that once more.
Yeah, so I know at my firm, you can actually get a role within my team. There's a specific CPA pathway that's been carved out. So that's one pathway that's away from like the whole audit and tax side. But we also, through our consulting practice, there's a specific team, and they also offer a similar thing. So now you're actually under the consulting umbrella. You're not,
Oh, okay.
Under
which
audit.
you're not under audit. A cool benefit to that is you're actually making a consulting salary, which
More money.
we know is much higher than the starting audit salary. So
Way more.
so yeah, there's definitely those two options that I know my firm specifically offers.
Awesome. Steph, do you have anything to add to that?
I think Den's firm in particular has a few more options in terms of the different CPA paths.
Definitely.
I don't know as much about that side of things. If you're not interested in getting your CPA, there's tons of different roles that the firms have in general that I don't think a lot of people know about. Like Den's firm has some really cool, like even what's the one, the ransomware team.
Oh yeah, there's also a team that works on blockchain, which I know a lot of people are super interested in.
Okay, so I have one more surprise question for you guys. Since we're working from home now because of this the pandemic going on. Who's got more annoying work from home habits? Steph or Den?
Well, first I'll say that our setup's funny because we mean to like switch it up or like habits and we just go to our same place every day. So I always take our one desk in our 400 square foot apartment. And so he gets the kitchen table, which we're on right now. But it's definitely smaller. So he likes to complain about that, even though he likes working at the kitchen table.
I think it's a bit tougher for Steph because our one desk, like she said, is in our like bedroom area.
Yeah, true.
And in order for me to get to the washroom, I have to go behind her. So
And my calls, there's just him running by.
so she'll be on calls and it'll just be me in the background, just like walking through, you know?
That's true. Okay, that's the annoying habit, you having to go to the bathroom.
Stop drinking water.
I was just thinking about that.
That's funny.
Too much water.
I've got a 5-year-old at home.
Oh,
He jumped on the call as Iron Man because he was all dressed up. So.
That's so funny.
You'd be surprised the amount of times that happened on calls this past week. So
Seriously, yeah.
I think we're all used to it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's being really flexible, which is amazing, and we're kind of getting into the groove of things.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much. So if our students have more questions, they can put them in the comments below, and we will get them answered. We'll do a follow-up call if you guys have time, if you're not super busy with
Totally.
work.
Yeah.
And so my handle is Accounting Videos, my channel name, and you guys are
Steph Den.
Yes.
Steph Den, and we will put them in the descriptions of each other's videos. And thank you guys so much for being on the call, and I really appreciate you taking your Sunday to do this with me.
Yes, thank you too.